guys, in this video, Mixed Media Girl and I are gonna team up and show you how to create a beautiful beach scene step by step on TV trays, something you may have laying around your house.
Stay tuned and enjoy the video.
All right, so what we're doing today is a set of TV trays. And I love doing these TV trays because they make great gifts. This set we're actually going to be donating to one of our local fundraisers that we donate to each year. So what we've done is we've actually bought a TV tray. Guys, you can get these for $10 at Walmart. This is one that I've done. I actually put our logo in it, and they're very durable and they make excellent gifts. So once we finish these, you guys need to stay tuned to the last because we're gonna give you one more special surprise, right?
Yes.
All right, so you excited?
Yes.
Ready to get going?
Yes.
Okay, so Marcy's gonna take lead on this. She is a master of doing beaches, and so take it away.
So we're gonna start off by kind of fogging our board with some of the background colors. If you have worked with resin before, you know that it can kind of thin out and can be a little transparent. So if you wanna get a lot of depth and have bright, bold colors, it can really help to just take some spray paint and you can kind of fog that background. We'll also be using a texture spray paint. This is, you can get it from Home Depot, Lowe's, wherever, and it gives you like a sand texture. It's very awesome and great to use for beach projects. You could also use real sand if you want, but we'll be using this texture spray.
How long does it usually take to dry?
I would give it at least 30 minutes typically. If you can prep your boards like the day before, that's even more ideal, but generally speaking, within about 30 minutes, they should be good to go.
All right, so we'll let this dry and we're gonna go mix up some resin.
So we're actually going to be using Mixed Media Girl Artist Resin. One of the reasons we're using this for this technique is that this is actually fabulous with helping with cell creation.
Okay, explain that, Marcy. What do you mean by cells? Some people don't understand.
Science.
Science. But what is it on the beach?
With the waves, we usually want to get like a foamy, kind of lacy look. So that's what this does very well. There are certain colorants that you can also use to do it, but the great thing about this is it does it by itself, kind of no matter what colorant you're using. I mean, obviously, if you're just using micas and micas alone, you're probably not gonna get much reaction. But if you add some dyes, some pastes, etc., this creates that beautiful lacing very easily. And I'm gonna mix up about 8 ounces per board. So it's mixed equal parts A and B. I like to put in part B first. It's the more liquid of the two. For art projects, you want a little bit extra. So you'll usually go more like 6 ounces per square foot-ish to have some to play around with and move it. Yeah. So you don't have to stretch your design around to get it covered. You don't want to have to do that. Yeah, so we'll get a little bit of extra here.
So we're going to be using the Ocean Blue mica powder, and we also are using Alumilite Ocean Blue and Alumilite White.
If you only use micas, you're not going to get those cool effects. So add in a dye or a paste or both. But these, I love the Alumilite dyes. I use them in virtually everything, and they're great for contrast. The white is really opaque, so it's really good for those waves. So now we're going to make 2 different blues. I like to do a lighter blue and a darker blue. And so we're just gonna put a few ounces here. I divide mine and then add more as needed. And we need very little for the white.
Depends on how rough the seas are. Is that what you're saying? Now, I've often seen oceans done where they do multiple layers of white. So today we may not do 2 layers.
Right.
But I may come back if I get brave, and then tomorrow I might put another layer of waves, and that's gonna give us kind of a 3D look. But first, we're gonna see how well I do on my waves. I'm not really a wave person. I've never mastered that. So I'm excited.
She's gonna get it today.
I'm gonna get it.
All right, so for these, I put the Ocean Blue mica in all of these. Then to make a darker blue, we're gonna add the blue dye. And I wanna show you guys how concentrated this is. We'll just add a couple drops, and then if you want, you can add more. I always do it slowly, because you can always add more. You can't take it out, and then you can get that dark blue that you want. So this is still a little bit too light, but look how gorgeous. That adds so much depth.
Let's look and see the difference. Just with 1 drop, look at the difference of that. Wow. I didn't realize that it made that big a difference with just that one drop.
So I'm gonna add just a little bit more, maybe a couple more drops here. Again, just a little bit at a time. Okay, then we'll do our whites. And for this, we want quite opaque. So I'm gonna do like 3 to 4 drops here. And definitely make sure you stir those dyes in completely. They are an oil-based product. If they're not mixed with the resin, they themselves will not ever fully dry. Ask me how I know. All right, so we're gonna start off, I like to start off with my darker blue up here, and you kind of just throw it on there. We'll move it around afterwards. This goes through what I call the ugly stage, kind of, where it just looks like a bunch of slop, and then by the end, it's beautiful. So after your dark blue, go with your light blue, and you're gonna go basically like pretty much right up to your sand line there, and you can overlap your dark blue a little bit. We're gonna take our hand and just smear it around.
My favorite.
Yep.
And we want to make sure we push it over the edge.
Yep. So this will kind of start that blending process, and you can see that kind of teal color underneath. So you see that depth that it gives.
I love that.
Yeah.
Now you could, let's say if you painted it with a different spray paint, maybe a darker blue or something, that's gonna affect what it looks like. So the color that you fog with will play a part of the design.
100%. Yep. So then we're gonna take just a little bit of clear, and we're gonna put that right up against the blue, and I'd say about a 1/2 inch, like a finger's width. And that's just to kind of create a buffer. I'm just gonna keep going.
Yeah, just do mine. We're good.
Yeah, that's just to create a buffer between the white and the blue, so that you get a little bit more of a stark white instead of a light blue. And then we'll go on the other side of that with our white. And same thing, probably about a finger's width. You don't want to go too heavy on the white, because then you basically just end up with a piece that looks like it's a bunch of clouds.
You do mine too. Oh, I have my own white.
You have your own. Yeah.
Gum. Okay, here we go. Now I'm going to get nervous. All right, here we go.
You got this.
I got this.
And again, probably less is more with the white specifically. You can always go back and add more. You can't really take it off.
Okay, so we're good.
It's identical. Okay, now here's a key thing. You need to heat up all of your resin, not just this. We're gonna be pushing it all. If you don't heat up this and you try to push this, this resin will stop it because it's thick, it's cold.
Right.
And you might wanna also like blend your waves a little bit.
Okay.
So we've got this little concentrator attachment here on the heat gun, which is gonna help when we go to create those waves.
Okay.
But first I'm gonna heat my water.
We all like warm water. How about that?
Yeah. And you can use it to push this around a bit and create some different patterns in your water before you do your waves. Get this part done. All right, now I'm gonna go right above my wave here. I'm gonna heat all that, and then I'm gonna push it. And I like to tilt it a little bit, and you can push it as far as you want, and then go on to the next area. You can push it all the way to the top of the board if you'd like.
How fun!
Yeah, and then a really fun trick, you can take some isopropyl alcohol and you can spritz it into the air and let it fall onto your project, and that will break up those dyes and micas and make just some really fun patterns.
I love that.
Yeah.
Wow, I like that up in the air. That is a pro tip.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, let me try this here.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna heat up out here a little bit first. This is also kind of popping our bubbles as well.
Yeah. I feel like you can tell who does their hair by how they use
Who does what?
this. It's who does their hair.
Oh, yeah?
Like who actually uses a hair dryer.
Yeah.
Pro tip, it ain't me.
All right. So my waves are a little more than your waves.
Yeah.
But that's okay. So, all right. So then, now do you need to let the resin?
Actually, it's best to do it immediately after
Okay.
the heat gun, yeah.
All right, here we go.
And you can even just do it once, it's probably enough, yeah.
Okay.
So you can take your stick afterwards and you can go on here and just do a solid white line to kind of clean that up so that it's like really stark. Yeah, that way we get a nice clean wave line.
Well, let's see. I got some white here. I'll do the same thing. All right, so we're going to start off the board.
And then if we wanted to do a second layer on here, we would let this cure and then we could go above it. If you try to do it now, it'll just blend too much with that blue. So we would let this cure, put clear, or you could even do a little bit of transparent blue up here to give it even more depth, and then do another wave above this just the same. and then do your clear coat over the whole thing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, I love this. Okay, so we'll let this set up, we'll let this cure. Probably we'll come back and do a second wave, and then after that, come back, we'll do a total flood coat. And with that, I'll use our regular Stone Coat Countertop Art Coat for that. Okay, I hope y'all like that. That was so much fun. All right, so now are we gonna tell them our fun part about our extra little surprise?
So now we're gonna make some matching mini coasters with little beach scenes on them.
How fun. Hold on, stay tuned.
So with the leftover resin from our beach projects, we're gonna make some really cute coasters. These are actually made with clear acrylic, and I get them from Artist Till Death. All different shapes, sizes, and it's great to have on hand because A, who doesn't love coasters? And B, when you have just a little bit of resin left, you wanna do a small project and not waste the resin. It's just fantastic for those, and these are gonna come out super cute. We prepped them pretty much the same way with a little bit of blue spray paint and then a little bit of the sand texture. And just to explain these, they are clear, but it comes with a brown paper on both sides. You peel one side off, do your project on that side, and then when your project is complete, you peel the other side off and it's no mess. So very easy cleanup. They're
Yeah,
just
it takes
fantastic.
care of all your drips.
Yes.
Perfect.
No sanding or anything required. So I'm gonna start off with my dark blue the same as I did before. And obviously these don't take a lot of resin, so you have to kind of just think mini. And these are the hexagon coasters. They're probably my favorite shape, but she's got squares, she's got circles, and then she also has a bunch of like seasonal shapes, like she does eggs around springtime.
Yes.
So she got some shamrocks and things like that. Dolphins.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I've seen some cute ones. So
Yeah.
check out our website, artisttilldeath.com.
Yep.
Give her a call if you have any questions.
So I'm gonna just kind of carefully hold it by the sides and get this covered. And again, they're pretty small, so it does not take a lot. And I didn't fully fog this, so I kind of am banking on being able to see through it a little bit because remember, these are clear acrylic. So you'll be able to see the design from the other side. And you can actually use these coasters on either side if you wish.
That's a good idea. I like that.
Yeah.
Now, if you wanted it to be opaque, you could spray paint it opaque, but
Yeah.
then you're not going to have that pretty design on both sides, like you said.
Correct. Yeah. So either way, there's no wrong answer. And if you want to put like a cork backing on it or something like that, I would just pre-spray paint it white or fully spray paint it with the blue or something like that, so that you don't see through
See
it.
the cork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got our blues, and now I'm going to take a little bit of clear again. You could probably skip the clear on this step if you wanted to, because again, we don't have a lot of space, but I have it, so I'm just going to do it here real quick. And I'm using my stick to get a thinner line.
Yeah, because you're not having to do a lot of that clear.
No.
Perfect.
And now for our white, same thing, I'm gonna use my stick so I get a nice thin line. And I'm gonna start off the edge of the coaster. And this is where you really need to make sure you add any character that you want. Give it some waves. Try not to go too straight on it. All right, here we go, heat gun. So we'll just do one at a time. They're small again, so.
Yes, ma'am.
And just for funsies, we'll do the alcohol ink.
Boink.
Or alcohol, not ink, but there we go.
I love it.
Done.
Oh my gosh, these are so cute. I love them.
And they
Here's
match
some
our
more.
TV trays.
And they match our TV trays. Oh my gosh, I love it.
Some lucky person will get those.
That's right. So we will let these dry as well for 24 hours. And then we'll give our TV trays a second layer of waves. We won't do that.
These you just clear coat. They're too small.
Yeah,
I
they're
wouldn't
too
try
tiny.
to do the second layer.
Yeah, so thanks. I love them. They're so
Yeah.
cute. Marcy,
Yes.
it is so good to have you back.
Oh, thank you.
I know. Remember the last video that we did?
The vases, which are so fun. I think I could do those all day.
So if you guys would like to see the last video that we did, it will be linked in the description of this video. So tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Okay, I go by Mixed Media Girl on all my socials. My website's mixedmediagirl.com. And I have been an artist my entire life, so hence Mixed Media Girl. I try all different media, including oil painting, acrylic painting, resin art. So check out my channel, Facebook and YouTube, and everything is Mixed Media Girl. We've got a lot of different fun projects for all levels of experience, even if you've never created anything in your life.
She's amazing, and I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah.
All right, I'll be back tomorrow. She's heading back to California. We'll finish it up, so stay tuned. Hey guys, it's been 24 hours, and we are ready to pour the next layer of waves. And guess who I got to stay with us for just one more taping?
Yeah, I figured she needs a little more help, So on this second layer of water, we actually added 1 drop of the ocean blue Alumilite dye, and that's gonna give it even more depth. You could just do clear if you want, but the blue will just add to it. And we'll basically do the same exact thing we did yesterday, but just a little bit higher.
Got it. Now we did add a little of my very favorite additive, which is the diamond dust. And we just added a tiny bit, you know, because every ocean needs a little sparkle, right?
Right. The sun is shining on it.
That's exactly right.
And Rhonda likes to go in with her whole hand. I just use 1 finger.
Don't be hating on me now. Here, I do countertops. I use my whole hand.
And you can see that you can still see the first layer through that. This is very transparent, but now we've got all this depth. So we've got our blue down, and we're literally doing the exact same thing as yesterday. So take just a little bit of clear. I'm gonna just do it with a stick and go alongside this. So you do yours, and then we'll do our white next to that. And I usually go a little bit smaller for this one, maybe not quite as much white. All right, and then the heat gun. So heat up the whole thing. And there we go. Oh, and then we need to clear coat our coasters. So this has the little bit of diamond dust in it, and we're just gonna put a little bit on each coaster. Doesn't take a lot. And we're not doing any color in this, just that little tiny bit of sparkle. And we'll gently lift them up and get them covered. And this is the only other layer you'll need. So after this is dry, you can peel that paper off the back. It'll peel
Perfect.
those drips right off.
So we'll come back over our TV trays with 1 more clear coat.
Yeah, torch real quick. And that's it, those are done.
That was so much fun.
So I won't be back tomorrow, but Rhonda will come back and finish these off and show you how they look all wrapped up.
Yep, they will be beautiful. So we'll apply a finishing flood coat of just clear resin, a little bit of diamond dust. I'm actually going to spray paint the legs white. I think that would really tie it all in. And we will bundle this up, and it will be ready to donate this weekend. All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow for a clear coat. All right, so it's time to do a flood coat. I'm gonna scuff up the first 2 layers of epoxy that we have. You can use a 220. I just happen to have a 3M pad here, which I really love those, especially on my edges, because I'm not gonna burn through. All we're doing is kind of creating a tooth for our final flood coat. All right, so once we sand, we'll spritz with isopropyl to get rid of all of the epoxy dust. Once you do that, don't touch with your bare hands, and we're ready for the flood coat. All right, we're at 3 ounces per square foot, and we're using the Stone Coat Countertop Art Coat. All right, here we go. So the reason we're applying a flood coat is, 1, I want to cover up this sand that didn't have any protection. 2, this is going to be an item that could potentially have high traffic. So I want to just protect all of my beautiful work, our color coat, and also a flood coat will bring back all of those characteristics that we have come to expect in our epoxy. It's going to bring back the high heat resistance, the high scratch resistance, and again, it's going to protect our color coat. All right, so also by doing a flood coat, we are making the surface level again, because I could feel a little bit of a bump where we added our second wave, because our epoxy is going to self-level, it's gonna help to get this whole surface nice and flat. All right, so what I'm gonna do now, I'll torch it 3 times, waiting about 3 to 5 minutes in between torching to get rid of all the bubbles. All right, guys, these are done. If you really want to take these to the next level as far as protection and durability, you can come back and you can apply the ultimate top coat. We'll let this dry for 24 hours. I'll come back, we'll sand the drips off the backside, we'll attach the legs, and this will be auctioned off on Saturday. So I'm super excited. All right, guys, remember, don't be scared, move forward, and be creative.